On September 11, 2001, the United States was shaken to its core when terrorists from al-Qaeda launched coordinated attacks on New York and Washington, D.C. In response, President George W. Bush declared a global war on terror, vowing to dismantle terrorist networks and those who harbored them. The first military step in this new era of warfare would be Operation Enduring Freedom. Launched on October 7, 2001, Operation Enduring Freedom began as the U.S. military's direct response to the 9/11 attacks. The objective was clear: destroy al-Qaeda's infrastructure, capture or kill Osama bin Laden and key leaders, remove the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, which provided safe haven to terrorists. This marked the beginning of the longest war in American history. The U.S. led a coalition with the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and other NATO allies. The campaign started with heavy aerial bombardments targeting Taliban strongholds and al-Qaeda camps. Soon after, U.S. Special Forces joined the Northern Alliance, a group of Afghan fighters opposed to the Taliban. Within weeks, the Taliban regime crumbled. By November 2001, major cities like Kabul had fallen, and by December, the Taliban government was ousted from power. Operation Enduring Freedom wasn't just an American effort. More than 40 countries contributed troops, intelligence, and logistical support. NATO, for the first time in its history, invoked Article 5, the principle that an attack on one member is an attack on all. This unprecedented level of cooperation underscored the global nature of the mission. Despite quick victories, the mission shifted from traditional combat to counterinsurgency. The Taliban regrouped, using Afghanistan's rugged mountains and caves as bases for guerrilla warfare. Suicide bombings, roadside IEDs, and ambushes became frequent, prolonging the conflict. Beyond the battlefield, the U.S. and its allies invested billions in nation-building projects, establishing a new Afghan government, training Afghan security forces, building schools, roads, and hospitals, expanding rights for women and minorities. But corruption, tribal divisions, and the resilience of the Taliban undermined many of these efforts. One of the most dramatic moments came in December 2001 at Tora Bora, where Osama bin Laden was believed to be hiding. Despite heavy bombardments, he escaped, a missed opportunity that would haunt U.S. strategy for years. Nearly a decade later, in May 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs located and killed bin Laden in Abbottabad, Pakistan, a major symbolic victory of Operation Enduring Freedom. By the mid-2010s, the U.S. began reducing its direct combat role, shifting responsibility to Afghan security forces. In 2014, NATO formally ended combat operations, transitioning to a training and advisory mission. However, U.S. troops remained in Afghanistan under a new mission name, Operation Freedom's Sentinel. Operation Enduring Freedom lasted until December 28, 2014, but its legacy continues to shape global politics. It exposed the difficulties of fighting non-state actors. It sparked debates over civilian casualties, drone warfare, and human rights abuses. It left behind mixed results in Afghanistan, progress in education and women's rights, but ongoing instability. For many, Operation Enduring Freedom represents both the determination of nations to fight terrorism and the complex realities of modern warfare. Operation Enduring Freedom was more than just a war in Afghanistan. It was the opening chapter in a new kind of global conflict, one still shaping our world today. If you want to understand more pivotal moments in history, subscribe and join us for the next story that shaped our world.